Hi everyone, welcome to Julex Beauty. I'm Julie and today we're going to do a very simple look. I was at Shoppers Drug Mart here in Canada and I came across the Maybeline Color Tattoo shadows. So I've got, let me see, I've got one color, and I can't see the name. So one is a green color, one is a bronzy gold, and the other one is a purple. So I've tried so far the gold and bronze, and last night I tried the green, and it was really simple. So I just wanted to show you how easy that is. I'm just gonna moisturize my face first before we get started. I'm gonna go with a light coverage today because it's a daytime look, and I just wanna show you a very simple look. One of my favorite foundations is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light, and I am self-tanned right now, so I'm a mix between number 3 and number 4. So probably more number 3 because it's faded a little bit, but let's just see how it goes. I'm just gonna put a little bit. I got a candle holder. It's really cheap. You can get it from Michael's, and it's just really easy to mix your product, mix your foundation or your concealer on, and I find that it doesn't waste any product because when I put it on the back of my hand, it always seems to soak in a little bit in my skin, and I want to save as much product as I can. So I'm going to mix that in, and let's just see how it goes. Might be actually a little bit dark. We'll see. Yeah, that's a little bit dark. So I'm going to add more of the 3. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's better. So we'll mix that in, and if I need to just adjust it as I go, I will. And just pat that in. And if I need more coverage, I will. One thing I like about the Double Wear Light is it's not as matte as the regular Double Wear. I do like that, but as my skin has aged, I'm 46, so as my skin has aged, it shows texture a little bit more. I'm just a little bit more dry. This one, on top of my moisturizer, it sets down, but it's still more of a natural skin finish. Sorry, I have a cold. I'm going to sniffle a little bit. Oh, I like this. This is the first time I've used this Real Techniques sponge. I usually use a beauty blender, but... So you'll notice that I had Fraxel laser done here, and it's created some white spots. I'll show you how to cover that in a minute. I have to go in with a little bit of a darker color because there's actually no pigment there at all. Yeah, I really like this sponge. And I'm going to take that number 3 actually matched me perfect, so I don't have to mix that number 4. When I freshly tan, it is more of a, I have to mix more. So on my face, I need more coverage around the center of my nose. And I can go back in there with concealer as well, just to clean that up. Make sure to drag it down on your neck. And I'm going to swipe. There. I think that looks good. I'm lucky enough to have one of the Bobbi Brown professional kits. So if you open this up, you can see that on one side it's the concealers and the correctors, and the other side it's the foundations. So I'm going to use the foundation, probably something right in here, which is a more natural, and I'm going to use that on my sunspots. And I'll go in with the corrector and the concealer for the bluish darker circles under my eye, really primarily right in the corner. Also, I'll take this, which has a bit more coverage. I'm going to take that around my nose and anywhere else that I need it. So one of my favorite brushes to use this is a Real Techniques. I think this is a, let me see, actually it says, no, it doesn't. Oh, Deluxe Crease Brush. So I'm going to take that. I wouldn't use this for the crease probably because it's a little bit stiffer, but I like it for blending my concealer. So I'm going to take that Warm Natural. Let me just see up close here if that's working. Yeah, it looks like it's working. So in this case, like a lot of the times you want to conceal and use the same foundation, or you conceal with a lighter color. In my case, I have to darken that up a little bit. Let's just see on this side if I need anything. I actually have a little bit of a mark right there. And I have And there's one spot right here, I'm not sure if you can see that there's a little bit of a, I'm missing some pigment there, so I'm just gonna tap on there, my cheek, yeah. And that looks good. So there's some blue areas right under here. I'm gonna take my, again, my Bobbi Brown concealer. First I'm gonna start off with the corrector, and I'm gonna start off with probably, I like to mix a little bit. I like the peach, but I'm not quite, it kind of turns too peachy on me. So I'm gonna mix a bit of the bisque and the light peach, I believe, today. So I'm just gonna tap my brush into both, and let's see what happens with that. And whatever excess is on my brush, I'm actually gonna just wipe off, because I'm just, sorry, I got my mirror in the way. Just gonna wipe off, and I'm just gonna blend that in. Me, it's right in the corner there. You can see how that brightens up, and I hope that you can see that it brightens right up. And I'm just gonna, that's really where I need to conceal. I have my fine lines in here, so I don't really want to put a lot of product, so I don't want to accentuate my fine lines. So I'm just gonna pop that in. And ever so slightly. So this, I have a little bit more of a pressure and I'm pushing in, but as I get out, I'm just slightly brushing just to blend that in. I got some on my nose. Same over here, so I'm gonna put that right in the corner. You can see even it, I actually have freckles on my eyelids, so I even have to cover that up, but with my eyeshadow with the color tattoo, you'll see that that covers that right up. And a little bit right under my eye, because I have a little bit of purpley blue right under there as well. Yeah, so nice and bright, and I'm gonna bring that up just a little bit over here too, just so that you can see. It's a little bit, it's a thicker consistency, so I really don't want too much on my lid at all, and I'm gonna powder that down anyways. Right around my nose. Yeah, I like that. So I'm gonna close that up, and before it sets, I'm going to dust a little bit of powder. So make sure that there's no creases first, and then press that into the skin. I find that if I don't do it with the wet sponge, then it ends up really looking dry on me. So so far so good. It's nice and bright, and there's no creasing, and to me this doesn't look very dry at all, actually. So again, I'm gonna make sure there's no creases, and then I'm gonna set that. There's a lot of baking going on right now, but for me at 46, I don't want to bake. It's just gonna accentuate my lines. And while we're at it, actually, I might as well just set the rest. So let's see here. Really kind of want to set it more, just ever so slightly, actually. I'm just going to pop it on. And just spread it around. I don't want it, let's see. This is going to set your makeup and make it stay all day. But again, because this is damp, I just find that it, I just realized my dog is at my feet here. So let's see how that looks. I think that looks good. In my mirror, it looks good. By the way, that was the Laura Mercier powder. That was a translucent loose setting powder. It's one of my favorites. Next step is bronzer. I'm gonna take a MAC 135 brush. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna just swirl that in just a little bit. And I always start my bronzer from the outside going in. That way it almost acts as a contour, a light contour, because you can see that definition between the light and the dark. But I really don't want to contour my face. I'm trying to make it so that you can see. So it gives that dimension to the face. So again, I'm just gonna brush that in, and definitely I'm gonna take that up on my forehead. This has a little bit of a sheen to it too, which I like because I do have a drier skin. I'm also gonna just bring that right down into the neck, and right, especially under here. I don't mind that there's a shimmer, a little bit of a shimmer under my chin, because nobody's gonna be looking there anyway, but it just creates that shadow, and it blends my face. Sorry, my earrings. It just blends my face color right down onto my neck. I'm going to use the Orgasm Blush. I could never justify spending money on a blush because I always had awesome blushes available to me through MAC, but I've always wanted to try this, and I do love it with this look. I love it with most looks. So I'm just going to pop that. This is the Real Techniques, let me see what it says, stippling brush, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to stipple the blush right onto where I put the bronzer, but not quite as low. I'm not sure if you can see that. This again too has a little bit of a shimmer, so you don't have to add a highlight to your face, especially when it's sunny outside. So this is perfect for me. I don't have to add a highlight. I may at the end anyways, just to show you what it looks like, but now onto the eyes. So this is going to be really simple. The only thing I don't like about the color tattoos by Maybelline is they feel very dry. So when I pull the doe foot applicator out, there's not a whole lot of product I feel on there. It's not very easy to get it off the doe foot applicator and put it onto my eyes. So last night I found myself actually dipping the brush onto the doe foot applicator and trying to grab the product from there. So I may have to do that. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try and just put it directly on my eye. Is this the right one? No, that's not the right one. It's the gold bronze. And I really liked that green last night. And then I popped it with a little bit of yellow. So I'm just going to put that. This is so easy. I'm just going to put this right on the mobile lid. And as it's still wet, I'm going to take, this is the Body Shop actually. I used to work at the Body Shop for a very short period of time. I got some little bit right there, so I'm going to just take a clean brush, move that off, and as it's still damp, I'm just going to work it. You do have to work fast, I feel, with these, but look how easy. And I might just tap a bit more on that outer corner, and maybe on the inner corner, because I already know in the center I'm just going to pat a little bit of a gold from a Tarte palette in there. Yeah, so I feel like this is just a touch dry, but you know, for a drugstore product and the ease of it, I just hope it lasts. I hope that it doesn't dry out too fast for me. I'm gonna just wipe off the excess off the paper towel and really make sure that that's blended. So with my pressure, it's very, very light. And just bringing that up just a little bit, just to give a little bit of definition in that crease. So now to the left eye, and you can see what I'm doing. Maybe I'll go on this side. You know what I just read? You know what I just read? This is my first time filming, so there's going to be a lot of mistakes. Please bear with me. I think I've got a good setup so far, but I just realized that this light is not on, so I'm going to go and turn that on. Hold on, I have to get past my dogs. Just a second. Okay, that's better. I hope that you can see me better now. That must have looked so weird. Anyways, you got to do what you got to do when you're first starting out. Oh, now I can see. See, I can see that better now. I feel like I need to blend that more. Did I bring a blending brush? Probably not. So I'm just bringing, I'm just bringing this up just a little bit into the crease, wiping the excess off my brush, and ever so slightly in circular motions, just making sure that that's blended. This is a Studio Fix. This is NW22, and I took this last night, and I just popped that right underneath my brow. I like this because it's a really good coverage. So I do have a lot of pigment on my eyelids, just I'm freckly. I'm naturally a redhead, so I'm just going to pop that under there just to make sure that there's no redness under there and no freckles popping through. And that just cleans up my look. I could even take that, and I just find that right on the corners here, it's a little bit messy. So I can even take that and just kind of clean that up. You see how easy that is? I can even take that and just set a little bit more of what I did in the corner there, depending on what color, and just make sure that that's nice and clean. What's next? So this is a very simple look. So that's about it. Oh yeah, I wanted to take that green. I'll show you. Well, I can actually, I wonder if I could just take that. Let's see. I just wanted, last night I took that right under, and that's my eyeliner. And I can take a pencil brush. This is a pencil brush from MAC. I can't remember the number. And I'm just going to smudge that out under the lash line. There, and it gives a nice frame. Just simple, again, it's a one eyeshadow deal. You don't have to get crazy. Very, very cheap, I think. This was, again, it was on sale at Shoppers Drug Mart. I always use my optimum points with Shoppers. I know if you're in the States or anywhere else, you don't have that option, but I'm sure there's point systems probably at CVS, and I believe there is, but you can always find these products on sale. But with these color tattoos, the 3 products, I use my optimum points. So I didn't pay for them. Whatever I can get there, I pick up, and then I collect my points, and then I can get my rewards. So it's guilt-free shopping. And my pressure on my brush gets lighter as I come in to the inner corner so that it fades out. I actually feel like I took it a little bit. Now this stuff doesn't move, look. It's set, which is awesome, because the last thing, especially if you're working or you're going out, the last thing you want to do is worry about it. The other thing is as we age, we get more creases in our lids. So we want it to be able to stay in place and not have to worry about creasing all over the place. And I wore this all last night. I wore it to my son's hockey game. So I don't know how many hours, and it didn't budge at all. So the other, let's see, is that even? Yeah, that's even. Now the last, you could leave it at this, or what I did, you can take any shadow you want, but I actually, my mom got this for me. This is the Tartist, I believe it's Tartist Pro to Go, and I used Hype. So that is this gold color right here. I could take that on any brush. I'm gonna take a synthetic brush again. This is a Morphe. This is a Morphe brush, but it doesn't have a number. I'm not sure why. It's a very stiff brush, but I just want to tap that in and just go right in the center. And that just brings a little bit of highlight and make sure I just look a little bit bigger. And I'm also, I remember I did this last night too, I'm going to bring that into the inner corner. So right in there. And again, you don't have to do that, but it is pretty. Okay, that's done. Brushes, let's see. Now I've got everything. Now, of course, my lashes, my brows. I'm gonna do my lashes first. So if you can see the difference, just look up close, that this lash is curled and this one is not, and it opens up the eye so well. So that's a lot of the times when I'm going out without any makeup at all, I'll put moisturizer on and I'll curl my lashes, maybe put a little bit of brow on just because I don't have a whole lot. But that curl of the lash opens up the eyes so well. I'm gonna use the Voluminous Carbon Black. I used to watch my mom do this in the bathroom, and I would always watch her put it right in and blink. It's one of the easiest things to do when you're doing it on yourself. A lot of people, I find their mistake is they'll just do the tips, and you don't want to do that. You really want that color down at the base. So get it in so that you can actually feel the brush in there. And I usually do 2 to 3 coats. Difference. Again, so I'll let that one dry just a little bit and then go on to the next one. So again, I'm going to dip my brush, dip my wand back into the product, and I'm going to give it a second coat. Now I have to tint my eyebrows and lashes. I'm very, very blonde. You'll see eventually when the stuff starts wearing off. See what a difference that second coat makes. This green shadow is fresh looking, even though it's a color. It's not a neutral color, but I think it looks very fresh. And my husband complimented me on it last night. He even liked it. Funny enough, he notices these things. I think I have him well trained. Okay, the last thing is brows. I'm going to use a MAC 236, and I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills in Caramel. So you can see that in my brow, I actually, you know, I tinted my brows like I said, but I have holes. So that's where I'm going. I don't want a real stark brow. And as I go, I am going to brush it out with a spoolie, just so that it looks as natural as possible. In here I've got, it just is a little rounder, so I'm just gonna pop in ever so slightly, just right there. Again, I'm gonna brush it. And for me, that's good. I don't want it any stronger than that. And I'm gonna go right here. You can see, I don't know if you can see that there's a little bald patch right there. So I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna make, I like my eyebrows to look like they have more of a lift. So I always concentrate a little bit more on the upper level, the upper part of my eyebrow, upper level. I cracked myself up. So this is, again, it's very light strokes, light feather strokes. Again, I want it to look as natural as possible. I would love microblading done. I think that would be so cool to wake up and not have to do this. Like I probably would anyways, just to tweak, but wouldn't that be great? I know that there are people that do it here in Ottawa, but there's always one eyebrow that looks better than the other. This is my good eyebrow. This is my bad eyebrow. I feel like I have a freckle right here. So I'm gonna try and blend that out just a little bit. Let me just comb this out with my spoolie. But it almost makes my, the peak of my brow look like it looks like I went a little higher than I should, which I don't like. So I'm actually gonna just take that NW22 and just clean that up. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, lips. You know what, I'm gonna outline with Whirl and then fill it in with a little bit of a lighter lip. Then I mush it a little bit together. Still leaves that lightness in the center that I want, just to make them look a little bit bigger, fuller, and it still keeps that liner, but it's not that harsh line lipstick. I want, when I eat or drink, I want it to wear off really naturally, evenly, not naturally, but evenly. One of the lipsticks that I really like, again, this is from the drugstore. This is the Revelon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color. And this color, let's see, I have no idea. I don't know why I'm not finding names on these things. Glamour HD, 680 HD Glam. No, there's no, anyway, it's a light pink one. You'll see when I put it on. Again, you can find this at the drugstore. But because it has a little bit of a sheen to it because of the metallic, I find it looks less drying on my skin, on my lips, and also I do find it less drying. I don't know if that's just the difference in formula. But it lasts. And I don't feel like I need highlight because this blush is already highlighted enough. On top of that, the bronzer had a shimmer as well. I hope you like this video and please join me for the next one. Like and subscribe. I will see you later. Bye.